right, here we go. All right, we are here live, about to get started with some Kali. Give it a few minutes here, let some people come on in. All right. Let's see how this. Hey, what's happening? Hello, hello. We're going to be getting trained in some Kali here in a little bit. All right. Make sure everything is working good. All right, we're going to get training in a couple of minutes here. Just checking everything, make sure everything is good. All right, so that's going to take a little bit. Generate, cool. All right, so I'm going to be doing about a 20-30 minute training session here. Hey Wes, how are you? Good to have you here. All right, guys, I want you to grab a stick and a training knife today. A stick and a training knife. We're going to be focusing on something specific today. So my goal for today is to show you guys how to train solo. If you follow me on my, hey Iris, how are you? Hey, if you guys are following me on my, especially on my Snapchat over at Kali Center, I talk a lot about, I give a lot of solo training tips, how to really get the most out of your solo training. So today I'm going to be talking about that, and I talk about focus, making sure that you always have focus on a particular objective, especially in your solo training. All right, that way you're not always just randomly training all the time. Sometimes it's good to do some random training when you're training solo, but you do want to have some sort of focus majority of the time. You want to have some sort of objective. So I'm going to show you guys kind of how I go through that. Yes, the karambit, that will work too. Nice, Washington State. Nice, we'd love to have you in College Center University. Lots of good stuff in there. That's really where it's all at. Let me see if we're popping up over here now. What I noticed, what I learned from my last stream is that sometimes when the internet connection isn't all the best, we have to go to the actual live stream on the YouTube page so that way we can continue seeing all the comments coming in. It takes a little bit for that to pop up on my end. Let's see if it's on my phone. So we got a stick and a knife today. Okay, let's see here. Let's go here. It'll probably already be on my phone. Yeah, it is. So it takes a little bit for it to generate over there. But that's cool. That's cool. Because we're gonna get rocking and rolling. From Croatia. Hey, what's happening, Adrian? Robert, thank you. Truly enjoy the training videos. Thank you very much for watching the videos. All right. So let's get started training here, and then what I'll do is I'll just kind of do like a Q&A afterwards to answer any of you guys' questions, yeah, I think that'll work out. So that way we can get some training, and we don't have to stop in the middle. All right. Asher, what's happening? Nice. New York, Indiana, Croatia, Washington. Nice. This is what I love about Maryland. This is what I love about doing the live streams is that, we get to train from all around the world together, and I think that's just super cool. Think about it. Just 10 years ago, we weren't able to do this. I mean, just a couple years ago, we weren't able to do this, to train live all around the world together. What's up, Willie? Hope you're ready to train, bro. Ready to train insane. Train insane. Missouri, Cali. So you're going to notice that I'm not in any kind of special workout clothes today, right? I'm just in my jeans and my t-shirt, what I've been wearing all day. I had a YouTube comment. I think it was it was either on YouTube or it was on Facebook or something like that about how come you guys don't wear sportswear? I'm like, because this is Cali, man. We train. Whatever we have on is what we train in. But sometimes in the summertime, we like to go to the beach, go train over there. All right, so here's the deal. Whenever I'm solo training, I always start off with a warm-up. I always want to make sure that I'm moving my body first. All right, so just kind of follow along with me here. I'm going to do it kind of in a way that you can follow along. We're going to start out with the stick, all right, and let's just kind of get a couple warm-ups in real fast. This is something I do in the beginning of every class and every training session. I always make sure that I warm up my wrists. This is critical in Kali. Warm up your wrists, warm up your shoulders. Right? Every single training session, always warm up these two things primarily. Want to make sure that we warm up our back, that we warm up our hips, right? That we warm up our knees. Very important to warm up the body here. I'm not counting. I usually try to go for somewhere between, 20, 50 to 100 rotations here. But I don't count. I just kind of go by feel now. New Jersey. All right, now we're going to go forward and back. So I covered this a couple weeks ago. All right, making sure that we're not going too far down. We don't want to lose control of the weapon and whack ourselves, right? So we stop that tip of the weapon right on line with our bridge of our eyes and then pull it back to that chamber position. So look, there's no cheating, right? No cheating. Always go back to the chamber position in the beginning. In the beginning. All right, then I'm going to switch it. All right, so I put it underneath my armpit, grab it with my left hand, come out, and let's rotate the left wrist. Really important that you're doing these rotations here. France, nice. Hong Kong, awesome. Fantastic. When you guys are training the single weapon, it is a good idea to train the left hand. Develop the left hand, especially that coordination. It's going to help when we get to the double weapons. When we get to the double sticks, the double knife, the espada y daga, it's going to really help. And it also helps your ambidexterity with your empty hands as well. If you work your way down the end of the stick here, just tuck the stick under, re-grip it, and just go again. All right, and then we're going to go forward and back. Don't worry about speed. Just focus on that control and make sure that you're stopping the tip of the weapon right there. It should be right on line with your line of sight, and then all the way back. Every training session, I start off with these exercises. It's good flexibility for the wrist, It's good endurance training for the wrist. It's good strength training for the wrist and forearm. All right. And then we always start with a little bit of 1 and 2, making sure that we are rotating the hips and shoulders. This is getting the shoulder working out here. Full movements. Now here we're pulling the weapon through. We're pulling it through. Right? We're not pushing the weapon through. We don't want to push our shoulder where our shoulder feels like it's coming out of the socket. We want to pull the strike through, engaging the lat, engaging the back muscles. Pull it, pull it. And then make sure that you're rotating your hips and your shoulders. Notice that I keep my feet planted. I'm not swaggering up, pivoting on my feet. I'm just keeping them planted and isolated. That way I get a full rotation on the torso. Make sure that everything is clear in your room, wherever you're training. I don't want you guys hitting anything. Notice I'm striking high, right through the bridge of my eyes again, right down the line of sight. You want that middle of the weapon to go through your line of sight. Right? That way you have protection of the head while you're striking through. You're protecting your head all the way to your knee. Protecting your head all the way down to the knee. Let me turn this way. And I will switch it. Left hand, 1 and 2. Now notice, I'm not going fast. I'm not going with power right now. Just going at a speed that I can control. Just warming up the body. Now notice I'm touching the chamber on every strike. Touch, 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 touch. Okay? That hip and shoulder rotation is very important. It's going to help bring the weapon around. It's going to help to clear that torso. All right? One of these days I'll do it with a backpack on so you guys can see when you have gear why these 45 degrees are really important and why having the hip and shoulder rotation is important. The 90-degree principle is important. All the striking mechanics. Because when you start packing stuff on, like when we're going hiking and we're training with all of our hiking gear on, our backpacks, right? Make sure we have all of our water, everything with us. Okay, we want to make sure that we can operate all of our weaponry, all of our skills, right, and not have any interference from the gear. Right? Chicago. Hey, Tom, what's happening? Should be here, bro. See here. Are there different levels to Kali like belts? There are different levels. We don't typically do belts, but there are different levels to Kali. Nice. Pennsylvania, Argentina. Fantastic. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to move around a little bit here. Just do some carenza or some saya, just some solitary free flow, and we're going to find what is something that we need to work on today. All right, so we're just going to move around a little bit. Just nice and easy. Start with your diagonal strikes. See, I already found something. I already know what I have to work on today. All right, because I did something twice in a row that was no good. So I know what my focus needs to be now. So I'm going to start fixing it right now. So I'm not even going to continue any other strikes because I already found a flaw in my mechanics. I'm going to point it out to you guys here in a minute. I'm just moving around. And it's important to be able to move around on these basic angles here, 1 through 4, on the diagonals, facing all directions. You don't want to only be able to fight facing north. guys. I'm just moving around, getting the body warmed up here, pumping the legs, get the knees moving. Don't be afraid to lift the feet. Here's one of the things I see in Kali a lot when I'm watching other videos on YouTube. I'm watching sparring videos, flow videos, right? Is I notice that in Kali, right, we have this big emphasis on footwork. And one thing is we see that, not a lot of people are really utilizing footwork. They're going in and out of the center line. But the other thing that I see is that people are not picking up their feet. This is the first method of footwork, the ability to pick up the foot. We call it the broken footwork, right? It's very important that you can pick up your feet. So from time to time, you want to get this knee up, pull the knee up, and pick your feet up. It's important for training on all different types of terrain, especially with the staff guys. When we go out and we train out in the woods or out in the fields or at the beach, you have to step over objects. You got to make sure that when you're training in the woods, especially here in the winter, in the fall, there's leaves on the ground. You want to make sure that you're not just sliding your feet, and your feet get stuck underneath, right? Your toes get stuck underneath a root or a branch or anything like that. So it's important from time to time. You got to pick your feet up, okay, and realize that you're stepping, that you're actually applying footwork. All right, so here's the deal. I got my body warmed up, right? It's good to go. My hips are feeling good. Of course, I trained a few other times today, and I'm keeping the body loose throughout the day. That's very important. Integrate the Kali training in your day, all day long, right? So here's my focus for today, right? And you guys can either do my focus today if you want to just focus on this lesson, or if you have a particular focus that you found while you're moving around on your 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so what I found is that I have to redial in my angle 3. Because when I was coming out with the 3, right, I came out with it like this a few times. And that's no good. I have to come out with it like this. Okay, so it may not look like a big difference, but I'm coming out with my hand here. I need to be coming out with my hand here. Right, so here, no good. Here is where it needs to be. So it's hard to see the difference with the stick. So when we pull the blade out, see, if I'm here, my cutting pattern is actually not going straight. I need it to be here. Now the blade is going straight through the center line as opposed to turning it. I don't know if you guys can catch that on the video, but from here, my blade's not going straight as opposed to here. Now you can see that the blade is really coming straight. That's a good angle for it. All right, so if I step on a left 45, you can see how the blade is starting to go flat. I need it to come forward. All right, so this is the importance. See, so I was getting lazy and I wasn't canting out the wrist enough. All right, now that blade edge is coming forward right up the center line, right to the target, as opposed to me curling my wrist slightly. Right, and you see how now the blade is actually going past the center line instead of here, just going into the center line. All right, so those tiny, tiny little differences. We have to be able to recognize those differences. So that's my focus for today. That's my personal focus for today. And that's what I'm going to be working on here over the next couple of minutes. All right. So every time I throw my 3, right, I'm going to focus on just working my 1, 2, 3 right here. So 1, 2, 3. Now I got to feel this. I have to memorize the feel of canting my wrist and pulling that 90 degrees back. Boom. So I slow it down. Boom. And every time I throw that 3 now, I'm going to make sure I'm really focused on that wrist position. Now the 3, the hardest place to throw the 3 is on the center line. Because the hand naturally wants to extend away. The arm wants to extend away from the body on the 3. So we have to be extra precise, have extra control over that limb. Okay. So again, I'm sitting here, I'm focusing on the 3, making sure my wrist is canted. That way the blade is coming out perfectly forward, perfectly straight, right? And that I have that 90 degrees. I'm not striking with my hand lazy here like this. I want to make sure that I'm coming out straight. It's just such a small detail, but when you're moving with someone who's very good, those small details make a world of difference in your performance. So now I'm just focusing on that 3. Every time I throw the 3, that's where my attention is at. I pay attention to my 1 and 2, and now I just focus on that 3. So notice that I am moving around a little bit, right? I'm changing directions. You know, you can stay in one spot if you need that. If that helps you to maintain that focus. But I've got the feel of it down, and I'm just going to rep it out now. That's it. So one of the biggest training errors that I find in martial arts, and I'm guilty of this as well, especially in the beginning times of my training, is that people do not spend enough time on repetition, on correct repetition, on the perfection end of each repetition. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm striking this with footwork. So that way I have it dialed in. So I'm going to go left 45 on all the 3s that I throw and make sure that I'm throwing this right up the center line and that it's not bypassing the center line going somewhere outside in space. I want this thing going right up the center line, right to where my opponent's hand would be, while maintaining that perfect arc and canting of the wrist. Okay, because again, if I'm striking on the center line and I'm being kind of lazy like this, see how my blade is presented flat? This is why it's important that we cant the wrist out and that we have the 90 degree. Now you can see that I'm presenting the blade edge. All right, so again, if I come out with a lazy wrist, here you can see that I'm coming out flat. You can see how the shine of the blade. So I want to make sure that I'm presenting the proper angle 3, so that I'm presenting the actual blade edge. Okay. So now as I go out, I'm going to step left 45 and throw the 3 here, and then come back. Boom, here. So every single 3, I'm going to step out on the left 45. Now I'm going to break the timing a little bit. I'm going to land first with the feet and then throw the 3. Because I want to dial into the body the feeling of pulling that 3 through and making sure that my wrist, all my mechanics are there, and that I'm delivering the strike forward. So nothing else matters here except for the 3. And once I have a feel for it, I'm going to try and make it a little bit smoother. Not faster, just smoother. So notice every 3, I'm stepping left 45, and I'm throwing that 3 right up the center line. And I'm using the blade right now, so that way, as you guys are developing that sharp eye, you can see the mechanics, right? You can see when I make that error, you can see how it comes out flat compared to when I'm actually coming out with that blade edge right on target. And I'm going to switch to the stick here in a little bit and really see who has the visual to see the difference. Now here's the deal. Now that I'm training it properly, and I'm redialing in my coordination, okay, I'm going to throw about every handful, I'm going to throw them incorrectly. I'm going to go correct, correct, incorrect. And you're going to notice something. You're going to feel that it's very difficult to get to the 4, the next strike. It's very important that we can reverse engineer our errors. We need to understand why. Why is that incorrect? Okay, we don't want to just take somebody's word for it. We have to understand it intellectually. Okay, that's what's going to help us understand the importance of doing a technique properly. So from here, I'm going to do the same thing, and I just switch it to the stick, right, to see what the difference is. Making sure that I can still strike by the reference of the knuckles, that I can still strike this precisely with proper coordination in the technique, and that I'm not coming here. See how it's hard to see the difference now with the stick, right? That's why we went to the blade, to dial in the precision of that coordination on that strike. So if you don't have a training blade, it's a good idea to get one. And notice I'm still stepping left 45 on the 3. That's the primary here. If you are training indoors, be careful with the 4. Don't knock your fan or ceiling, anything like that. So you might have to come low on the 4. If you cannot go use the 4, because if your ceiling is too low, then just use the horizontal. So I'll throw the horizontal a little bit. So this is the purpose of the solo training here. It is really primarily for the coordination development and maintenance. You're working a little bit of the agility in there. Make sure that you can move dynamically with it, but you're taking your time going through the process of it. All right, let's take a quick little breather here, and let's kind of reflect on what we're working on. Nice, William. I'm really excited that you're enjoying the Kali Center, all our online stuff. Robert, nice. You're using the Kali at your Taekwondo school. Awesome. You know, one of the cool things about Kali is that it will help to improve really any other martial art. And that's one of the things that I love about Kali is that, you know, when I go in and I'm teaching people Kali from that, their primary is training other styles of martial art. I'm never really trying to sell them on, like, you know, switching over to Kali. I'm like, dude, use Kali to help improve your Kung Fu or your karate or your Taekwondo, your Hapkido, your Jiu-Jitsu. Right? Kali can really help improve that. I've had a lot of people, even competitors, competitive judo practitioners, boxers, who would train Kali with me, and you know, I mean, even the footwork alone, it makes big improvements in their game, and that's always a really exciting thing for me to hear. Is moving your feet consistently just as important as how you swing your arms? Absolutely. Absolutely. There is a geometric system. There is a science to it. So that way your strikes are coordinated with your footwork. That's going to help maintain balance, maintain speed, maintain power, maintain timing, maintain distance, control of momentum. Absolutely. Nice, Aiden. Thanks for joining us today, but man, thank you. Hopefully we'll catch you another time. All right. All right, so now what I got to do is I have to work the angle 3 on a new line. I can't only have it down on the reverse triangle. So now I got to work it when I'm stepping up the right 45 on the forward triangle. Okay. All right, so now as I'm moving it out, I'm going to step out and I'm going to step forward right here and making sure that I'm striking that weapon forward. So you're going to see I'm going to do like a little diamond with my 1 and my 2, and I'm going to strike forward on that 3. Now I don't have a whole lot of room to work with, and my intent here is not to have explosive footwork. My intent here is to dial in my angle 3. So I don't need to have this crazy explosive footwork right now. I just got to make sure that I'm striking my 3. I don't want to split my focus too much in my training, especially my solo training. I'll run into my couch there. All right, so I'm going to switch over to the blades. That way you guys can see the mechanics and how it differs with a new step. Okay, so right there, I got to make sure I'm delivering this strike forward. I don't want to have my wrist curled here. Right now you can see how horizontal the weapon is, right? And you can see how kind of floppy my hand is. I want to make sure that I'm striking straight. Now you can see that my weapon is diagonal, right? And you can see that my wrist is stronger. It's got more stability in there. I have more control on the upper third of the weapon, as opposed to if I came here. Okay, my hand is too wobbly, right? It's not secure. And my strike is horizontal. It's kind of coming out a little bit more flat. I want my 3 to be diagonal, to cover that line, to protect me not only from head to knee, but to cover the line of my opponent's strike as well. All right, so I step left on that 1, a little right on the 2, and I'm coming forward again on that 3. Now, even when I'm striking, okay, even right here, when I'm striking my 3 without moving, okay, I'm still, again, focusing on that wrist position. Making sure I'm canting the wrist. Stepping forward there. So now you guys can see when I do it wrong, right? Because you see that the weapon is coming out flat. Right? So I want to make sure that it's coming out correctly on that diagonal. And the angle 3 is a tough one. The angle 3 gives a lot of people some problems in the beginning. It's just the natural anatomy of the body. Because again, that 3 wants to extend away. It's really the most difficult mechanic out of the strikes. But it's such an important strike. Here, 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 here. All right, so that one I threw a little off. All right, I don't know if you guys caught it, but I projected the tip forward, and now look at my strike. If I'm coming at you, see how it's flat? Because I projected my stick forward, and look at my wrist, it's not canted. So again, once you strike it correctly a handful of times, or a bunch of times, then you want to look at, okay, what was my problem? So that way you can feel the difference between what's correct and what's incorrect, right? You can make that comparison and you can reverse engineer into the correct form. All right, so if I come up forward properly, right, now you can see that I actually have the blade edge coming forward. But before, I went up incorrectly here, and I'm coming flat. See, there's a big difference there, right? Big difference. I need to be here, all right there. And that's why we do the drills. I'll come this way, so I come right at you. Bop, bop, bop. Oh, did you see that blade edge? Here, I'll do it incorrectly now. Boom, boom, boom. You probably saw the flat. You saw the shine go in front of you, the shine of the blade. I don't want you to see that, right? I only want you to see the blade edge, all right? I want you to see the dull of the blade. I don't want you to be able to see the light reflect off of the blade there. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Only right there. All right? You might see the under, right, as I'm pulling the 3 through, but that's what I want you to see. That's all I want my opponent to see, is that blade edge coming forward, not here. See that big difference? Big difference. All right, so then we switch it to the stick. And it's good to switch your training from a blade to the stick, because you got to memorize the feel, the position of the wrist, and don't be reliant on the weapon or on the tool that's in your hand. Okay. Now it's going to be harder to catch this now, because if I strike incorrectly, right, you may not fully see it. Okay. You can see the mechanic of the body is different, but you cannot just look at the weapon and see if this is incorrect, which that one was, versus correct, right? It's a lot harder to see it. That's why it's important to have the blade. It's like I always explain when you're playing, like when you play the guitar or something like that, right? All because you can play something on an electric guitar, that's great, but now play it on an acoustic guitar, and you'll hear all the mistakes, right? Or if you're playing an electric guitar, take the distortion off and play it on clean tone. That's what the blade is. The blade is like playing an acoustic instrument, where the stick is like playing something on, like an electric guitar with distortion on it, that you get to hide a lot of your mistakes. But you will feel the mistakes, okay, on impact. When you're doing impact training, when you're doing drills, when you're sparring, all right, that's where you're going to feel that. So it's important to have all these mechanics. Even when we're, fighting with sticks, it's still important to have these proper mechanics here, because it's going to help protect your body. It's going to protect your wrist a lot more. And that way you're not getting injuries in your wrist and in your forearm. Okay, so very important for these mechanics to be on. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to the knife, because we want to make sure that the mechanic is translating from weapon to weapon. So let's grab our training knives. All right, so this is going to be harder to see because it's a shorter weapon, but I'm basically just going to repeat the process here. Now, when we're slashing here on the knife, there's no 4. Okay? We don't use a 4 slash. It's 1, 2, 3, and then we go back down that 2. We don't slash an angle 4, because there's no protection of anything there, right? We're not protecting our head, and all we're doing is offering our elbow to our hand, right? All this is exposed, so we just come back down the 2. The low jab later on, right, will pick up that line, where now we can project that blade in. All right, so it's 1, 2, 3, and then 2. All right, so again, I'm going to be focusing on, let me kind of get close here, I'm going to be focusing on the precision of that cut. I want to make sure that my blade edge is coming forward, and that I'm not striking my knife like this, where I'm just catching the flat, right? I want to make sure I'm presenting the blade edge forward up that line. All right? So I'm going to start off just kind of nice and easy, striking it stationary or stagnant on point, just to focus on the feel of the wrist. Again, we're pulling the weapon through. We're not pushing the hand, we're pulling it. And now that I rep this out a few times, I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to step left 45 on every single 3. Notice that there wasn't anything intense in this entire training session here. Nothing intense. I'm not sweating right now. Now you could be sweating if you're training, if you got the heat on, if you're, training and it's humid out. But right now, I'm just focusing on dialing in a particular point, a particular objective, right? Just dialing in the mechanics there. All right, and now I'm going to work it on that forward triangle here. So I'm going to set small triangle, 1 and 2 on the 1 and 2, small diamond. All right, so left, right, and then forward on that 3. I want to accent that 3. So just little, and then accent that 3. Now with the knife, you can move around a little bit more. A little bit easier if you're indoors. All right. I might pick it up a little bit now. Kind of put a little bit of stress in that technique. And I'm just going to kind of free flow with it and put in the stress. And see if I can maintain that angle 3 with the proper precision. Nice. All right, so now I'm just going to kind of reflect a little bit, think about my session, and just kind of visualize what does that look like from an outside person perspective. Try to kind of replay it in my mind and think about if Tom was watching me or Ollie was watching me right now train, how would they see my movements? Okay? How would they be able to pick off that 3? So I want to reflect on what I was working on today. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the stick and I'm just going to kind of free flow a little bit, nice and easy, all right, and just close out the session just by reflecting on what my objective was, what my focus was, all right, and that's it. Just make sure everything is precise. Doesn't have to be super fast. It does not have to be super powerful, all right, and you can put some fast and powerful strikes in there. We're just going to kind of close out, turn the thinking off, and just feel. Actually, I'll go with the blade. All right, so no more thinking. Now we're just feeling, we're just moving. Almost like a meditation in movement. So when we're moving like this, there's no more rules. There's no more formality to the lesson. We already had our lesson. Today, my movement in the beginning told me that my lesson was on the angle 3. And to tighten up my mechanics, I needed to revisit that. But now there's no more lesson. Now we just move, pay attention, work on the awareness of our body, the awareness of our environment. This is your time if you want to get a little sweat in and move around. This is the time to do it. And you're going to see that we can slow it down. Make sure you have the control to train at all tempos, all speeds, controlling the weapon at all times. Look, here's the exercise, right? That we did in the beginning. Later on, that exercise becomes a close quarter strike. Pop, pop. All right. And that's it. That's the training. It's a quick training session. Quick little workout. Quick focus. All right. And that's how we want to do it. That's how we want to rock and roll. All right. So again, every training session, whether you are training solo or you're training with a partner, if you're going over drills, forms, sparring, whatever it is, always make sure you know what your focus is. What's your objective? What are you working on? What's your lesson for the day? Okay? You always want to make sure that you have that. It could be stepping left 45. It could be working a side step. All right? It could be anything. It could be make sure that your weight is distributing properly between your feet, between steps. It could be your breathing. Maybe you need to focus on your breathing that day. You're like, man, I'm really finding myself out of breath. You know, one of the biggest things is a lot of people, when I'm training with a lot of students, they'll say, man, my cardio is terrible. And I'm like, well, you're still standing, but you're not breathing. So it's not your cardio. Think about your breathing. You got to work on your breathing. And that's automatically going to enhance your endurance just by enhancing your ability to breathe in beats and then between beats. Right? Very important. All right, so I'm gonna kind of back up here. If you guys got any questions, let's go ahead and do a quick Q&A here. I'll go ahead and answer whatever questions you guys have. Callan, very very good. All right. It's cool you're using different weapons. Yes, you want to make sure that you can apply these mechanics with anything that you have in your hand. So even if I'm utilizing a pen, right, I want to make sure that I have all the striking mechanics down. Okay, not just being able to fight with a knife or with a sword or just a stick, right? Kali, everything translates from one to the other. Right? So it's very important that we can do that and build those skills. How would I train my other side? Exactly the same way. You just do everything on the left. Yeah, you use the Nerf sword. Use whatever you have. You can always run over to like a Home Depot or Menards or something like that, and just go grab some PVC pipe and cut it down to stick length. Or grab like a flat stick. You can get like a flat piece of oak or something like that, and just kind of carve out a little handle so it's more comfortable in your hand, and just use that. Just be creative. So you don't have to go out and buy a $100 or $200 training swords or anything like that. You can just go to your local hardware store and probably find a PVC pipe for a few cents, or a nice piece of hickory or walnut wood or something that's skinny enough. Carve out a handle, and you got a nice flat training stick for just a couple bucks, and maybe 10-15 minutes of your time, just kind of smoothing it out so it's more comfortable to grab. So you just got to be creative with that. The kind of blade that I'm using in this is a Gnunting. This is from Top Throttle Blades. This is the 15-inch combat Gnunting. This is hand forged by Master Sergeant Prado. He's a Philippine Force Recon Marine Class 001. This is his design, his handle design. And he perfected this design through 21 years of combat with the Philippine Marines. Going into battle against the enemy in southern Philippines and against all the resistance there. So that's what blade I'm using. This is the 15-inch Gnunting. It's the Combat Gnunting by Top Throttle Blades. Here, I'll put it right here in the comments. I don't think I can link a website in here. I tried it once and it didn't let me, so I'll just kind of spell it out. Yeah, just make your first. Yeah, just make your first sticks. That's a good thing to do. Yeah, a dowel rod will work. Don't do any impact training with that because it's not going to last very long. I had a buddy of mine many years ago came up to me and goes, "Dude, man, I got my collie sticks." And I'm like, "Dude, those are dowel rods, man. As soon as you smack those together, they're gonna break." And they did, but live and learn. A lot of like the hardwoods and stuff, like the oaks, the maples. We don't really recommend training impact with like other people with those, just because they get brittle and they do crack and over time, and they'll have like sharp shards that will fly out of them and stuff. It just kind of gets a little bit dangerous, but. From Costa Rica, Marco, thank you. Thank you for joining me today and training with me. If you made a karambit, have I made a karambit out of scissors? No. But, you can kind of go through some of the basic motions with them. I saw another comment up here. Are there forms in Kali like in karate? Yes. Not all styles of Kali necessarily has forms, but some styles do. Does marijuana help with endurance? No, marijuana slows you down, dude. You're going to be moving in slow motion. It impairs your timing. Daniel, thank you. Cool. So is there any other questions I can answer for anybody before I sign off here and grab some dinner? Let's go. I'll do a couple more minutes. I'll go and take a few more questions. Anything that you guys might have. So real quick, I do, what's today? Today's the 2nd. So anyone that's interested in becoming an instructor in Kali, under Kali Center, I have the instructor's training course happening May 8th through the 12th here in Chicago area. And the registration is now open over at KaliCenter.com. So you can go on over there and sign on up. It's an apprentice instructor course. It's a 5-day training course. Now, with this, if you're looking to teach other people, if you want to, start up a training group, if you have a martial arts class, you want to add Kali, especially what we do to the programs, to your programs. If you want to start up a training group in your area, eventually work that up to a school, this is going to help you out because it's going to help give you some backing from Kali Center. Now, if you don't necessarily want to be a teacher, but you want this level of training, then the instructor's training course is perfect for you also. So not everybody's goal is necessarily to teach. Some people's goal is just to get that level of knowledge, get that level of training to perfect their own skills. That's something I did early on as a teacher. I wasn't necessarily going through an instructor's training program to become a teacher. I was doing it to hold myself accountable to the training and to get that knowledge. So either way is cool. So if you want to, if you're interested in that and you want to come out to that, just go to kalicenter.com and registration is open. All the logistics, the nearby hotels, everything is up and on the website over there. Adrian, thanks for joining today, man. It was good to have you here. Good to get some training in with you. Robert, I'm glad you found today's live session helpful. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that. I have a lot of the forms up in Kali Center University. A karambit knife to sharpen it. You need a smaller round stone so you can hit the arc. You can't use like a block stone on those. I mean, you can, but it's more tricky. Marco, you're left-handed? Yeah, I've had instructors in Kali that are left-handed. It's a difficult question to answer when you don't have really a lot of experience in the flow of Kali and the flow of combat. But the geometry is geared towards right hand. It's just the flow of combat, but with blade combat, close quarter combat. But that doesn't mean you cannot use your left hand. There's ways to utilize your left hand. I mean, we do have double weapons. But you have to work in the geometry of a right hand. I mean, it's just kind of like a universal law in close quarter blade fighting. And as you go through the geometry, as you're going through the system of it, and you're learning the geometry, it does start to make sense. And you learn all the different flows of the weaponry and everything. It does start to make sense, and you do start understanding why. Thank you very much, Shia Ann. Thank you. Thanks for joining today. What is the core philosophy of our Kali style? Survive, destroy all enemies. Do whatever it takes. That's really kind of the philosophy, is in one of the styles that I trained in, which was Pakiti Tersha, there was a philosophy of we believe in life, we believe in health, and we believe in success. And that we hold our lives as superior, so we're going to survive any combat or self-defense engagement. So one of the things with Kali is that we tend to build a mentality of one-upmanship. So if you come at me with empty hands, I'm going to have something better, right? I'm going to have kicks, or I'm going to have a knife. If you come at me with a knife, I want something better. I want a long blade. If you come up with a bolo, right, then I want two bolos. If you come with two bolos, I want a spear, or I want or a gun, firearm, whatever, chemicals, whatever it is, So with Kali, the philosophy is kind of more like a one-upmanship. We're always looking for one-upmanship. If you're going to stay on the center line, I'm going to move off of the center line, right? If you have no idea what you're doing, range and timing-wise, then I'm going to pick you off. So the philosophy of Kali is very, it's very kind of brutal. There isn't really. There's 12 areas of Kali, and the 12th area is kind of like the healing/meditation arts. Some people don't believe in that. Some people do. So again, Kali is very loose. But I definitely believe that there is, because we're working with weaponry. on a regular basis. So in my life, I think it's important that we maintain balance from the movements of the weapons and hitting each other with weapons and all that, and make sure that we're maintaining our humane balance and not just being stuck in the primitive of hitting people. But as far as like I said, that philosophy goes, as far as the martial art goes, the martial end of it, it is really do whatever it takes to destroy the enemy and survive. If you got to move like water, if you got to be like fire, if you got to be like wind, whatever it is, do it. Do that thing that is necessary to win. Robert, man, it was good having you here, man. It was good training with you. Thanks for joining today. Zemkel, I hope I pronounced that right. Thanks a lot, man. I'm glad that you got in here today and was able to train with us today. Check out College Center University when you get a chance. Will this be recorded? Yes, I will have the replay of this lesson up. Sometimes I will take them down after a while, so just kind of check it out. It'll probably be up once I'm done. Once I get off the live stream, it'll probably be up within like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 minutes. You can check it out then. Chadwick. Sean, thanks for the sub, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Nice. Zemkel, I'm glad I was able to help you out today. Have I been Doce Paris with Kakoi? I've trained some Doce Paris, but it wasn't really like a main study of mine. But I did train some in Doce Paris. Yes, Kali is different than Krav Maga. It's definitely different. There's some crossovers though. Just remember that all martial arts are going to have crossovers, right? When you look at the empty hands, okay, we can punch with our fists, we can slap with our hand, we can hit, we can chop with it, we can strike with the form, we can strike with the elbows, we can hit, push with the shoulder, we can headbutt, we can knee, we can deliver kicks, right? We can hit, strike with our hip. So all martial arts are going to have these. Using the body the same way. Every martial arts has slashing and thrusting with knives that work with knives. All right, so it's really just a matter of the training methods. It's how we get from point A to point B, and some of the philosophies or the mindset, the psychology of that art is different as well. But as far as the physical, all good martial arts, all good styles, good systems, good teachers, good practitioners are eventually going to come around to the same conclusions. It's just kind of like the race for, the arms versus armor race. Yeah, so if you guys get a chance, check out College Center University. If you want to really excel in your Kali training, if you want more solo training, if you want to understand the curriculum more, go check out Kali Center University over at kalicenter.com. All right, we have over 520 instructional videos right now, and we're adding more. I'm putting up the entire curriculum up there. I'm building out an entire solo training program. I'm going to teach you guys how you can use all the different stuff that you have in your environment to aid you in your training. I'm going to teach you how to train with natural things. When you're out in the world, when you're out training in the forest, how can you maximize your training at the beach, how you can maximize your training, in all these different environments. I'm also going to be teaching you how to precisely do the forms, how to build your attribute development, how to turbocharge that, how to accelerate your growth. A lot of the solo training I had to kind of figure out on my own because there's not a lot of guidance. Especially in Kali, but really in martial arts, there's not a lot of guidance on how to really gain the maximum benefit in your solo training. And over the years of my training, that's something that I really focused on. I was always looking to innovate new ways to train solo so that I can not only learn and maintain the skills, but I can grow and accelerate my growth in skills. So that's a big component that's building up right now in College Center University. I'm also doing a whole fitness program inside of there that's geared towards enhancing your athleticism for Kali. And it doesn't matter where you are. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're extremely athletic, if you're not extremely athletic, or anything like that. It's going to help you. It's going to help you in your growth. I'm also having a section on the Kali life. So I'm teaching how the principles of Kali can be applied to the other aspects of your life. To me, that's very important. Like I said, it's very important that we can apply the fundamentals that we're learning, not just to the fighting, but to everything else, to our relationships, to our jobs, our careers, our businesses, our relationships with our kids, our friendships, wives, husbands, all of it. All of it. It's very important. So we have to be able to integrate Kali into our lives, and that's going to help the performance, the physical performance of your Kali as well, because you get a more deeper understanding of it. All right, so all that's happening over at Kali Center University. So if you want to check that out, we have a monthly or a yearly subscription to that. If you do the yearly, obviously that's going to be saving you a few bucks. That's like, it comes out to something like 2 or 3 months free, basically, when you sign up for the yearly. We also have the Kali Center Community Facebook group page that's up as well. So you can search for that. Just send us a request. This group is for all members, friends of Kali Center, fans of Kali Center. So you don't have to be a member of the university to enter this group. All right, so just send us a request, and we'll get you on in there. And it's great because we answer your questions. You get to communicate with not only myself and the rest of the staff, but you get to communicate with all other Kali Center practitioners around the world. So a lot of these guys are in the university. A lot of these guys are training off the YouTube videos and stuff. So it's just a really cool community, and it's a great way for you to pair up, find people that are in your local area that you can get together with and train. Find some training partners, form some training groups, and all that. All right, so we got Kali Center University. Check that out. If you want to focus on something particular, you can check out the Kali Center DVD downloads. We've got double stick solo training drills on that. We have knife, we have karambit, we have empty hands. So we have all kinds of DVD downloads that are going to give you really great training. They're totally packed. They're totally packed with information. Where is the Kali Center that I work out? We're in Chicago. So the Kali Center, we're located in Chicago. So if you guys are in the Chicagoland area, feel free. Give us a contact us. Email me, Facebook message me on Snapchat. Let me know that you're in the area. And if you want to come out and train with us in person at classes, we'll definitely work that out and get you out anytime that you're in the area. All right. My buddy Rick and we are working on organizing a seminar in the Pittsburgh area in the summer in June. We're targeting for some dates in June. So that's one to look out for. So I'll be out in the Pittsburgh area in June. And I'll make sure that I have all that stuff up on the website and stuff. I'll direct you guys all to the right places, have all the logistics for that and everything. So that's another great way. All right, and then the instructor's training course, I got that coming up May 8th through the 12th. It's a 5-day instructor's training course. It's the apprentice instructor's training course. So once you go through the 5 days, we're going to be covering the single stick or bolo. We're going to be covering the double stick. We're going to be covering knife. We're going to be covering empty hands. We're going to be covering application tactics. We're going to be covering multiple opponents. All right, solo training, teaching points. All right, I've got a whole thing for 5 days of training. We're going to be training like from 9 in the morning to 5 in the evening, Monday through Friday. So it's intensive training. It's great training. You get to work with me directly. You get to work with the staff directly. We got a whole bunch of members to Kali Center University coming out. If you are a member on Kali Center University, make sure you log in to the university and check out the new video I posted in the very beginning. It should be the first video that pops up now, and it's going to instruct you on how you can sign on up and get your membership discount to Kali Center, to the instructor's training course. So it's a 5-day training course. Once you complete the 5 days, then you'll be presented with your apprentice instructor certificate. So that way you have the backing of Kali Center when you're going out and you're teaching this and all that. So one of the things I get asked a lot is, hey Paul, there's no Kali group or school in my area. I say, that's an opportunity for you. So then start one. All right, start a group, start a school, start, however you want to do it. If your dream is to teach or anything like that, I want to be able to help you fulfill that dream. And that's one of the main things about Kali Center. And that's why I'm doing this instructor's training course, to help you guys out with that. All right, so check that out. You can just go to KaliCenter.com, check out the university, check out the instructor's training course that's happening May 8th through the 12th. Registration is open right now. We do have signups already coming in, so people are already starting to save their spots. It will sell out. This one will sell out. So I want to make sure everyone gets in there and can save your spots. All right, so check that out. And is there any in Fresno? Is that Texas? Are you talking about Fresno, Texas? The Facebook. So Kali Center at Facebook. Kali Center Community is the group at Facebook. So be sure to like the Facebook page and request to join the group, and we'll get you on in there. And like I said, you get to ask your questions, talk about your training experiences. I don't do a lot of, I really don't do promotions of, the university or anything like that in there. It's just a place to talk about training, to ask your questions, to converse with each other. And, in California, I'm sure there's Kali probably out there. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, California has a very big Filipino martial arts scene. We do have Kali Center members to the university that are in California. So the group is pretty new. I just started the group. I think we've been going on for about a week right now, the Facebook group, and it's awesome. It's awesome. We have all kinds of great conversations over there, great posts, super, super cool. So, we're going to be also throwing in a lot of like the health stuff, how we fuel our bodies here with the staff and I, so that we gain the maximum amount of energy, healthy energy, so that way we can increase our performance. Guys, this stuff is so important because it really does affect, your performance. It affects the quality of life. It's so important. I'm a big believer that martial arts should not just be teaching us fighting, but it should be really, it should be not only providing self-defense against external sources, other people, but it should be providing self-defense against, the day-to-day toxins, so in our life, how to deal with negative people, not in like a fighting way, but how to deal with negative people, how to fuel our body and make sure that we're getting the proper nutrients for our body, so we're maintaining our health. These things are very important. Make sure that we're working out, that we're moving our body, that we're upright, we're moving our body. All these things are important. That we're able to balance and center ourselves mentally. All these things, very important. Emotionally, very important. In Southwest France, there's nothing, only Japanese martial arts. That's an opportunity for you, my friend. That's an opportunity. All right. Get good at Kali and start it up over there. That's a good opportunity. Anytime there is not something around, that's an opportunity for you. All right. I do have another kind of side business going on that I just kind of launched up, which is martialartsbizschool.com, and it's basically going to help teach how you can kind of build your own business out of martial arts. So there's a lot of ways to do it. You don't have to do a traditional school if you don't want to. You can go that route. You can have training groups. There's a lot of ways that you can do it. You can do it full time. You can do it part time. However you want to do it, but one of my things is being able to help you guys that do have that dream or do have that ambition, that you want to either make a living at teaching martial arts, or make a nice side income, or just teach in general. Check that out at martialartsbizschool.com. Yeah, that's a good idea, man. That's how I got started. A runner's high or a lifter's high? Dude, I got Kali high, man. I'm high on Kali every day. Sonarjo, I hope I pronounced that right. How are you? All the way from Indonesia. That is awesome. It's nice to meet you. Nice to have you on here to join us. I'm about to sign off. The video will have a replay of what we covered today. So make sure that you, if you didn't catch it today, catch the replay, and then you can train with me again. Correct. Martial Arts Biz School. Yes, just like that. And then .com. So it's kind of a new project that I'm doing. You know, it's not like a full-blown thing like Kali Center is, but I am producing a lot of stuff on there to kind of help people get started. Kind of taking it like, how I got started teaching martial arts, what I did. When I started teaching martial arts, I had zero. I didn't have any finances or anyone to help me, financially out, so I had to figure out how to do it. So I got a couple of ebooks up there that's very helpful. It kind of takes you through the process of how I got started. Just a couple things like that, a couple blog posts and stuff. From India, nice. It's great. Like I said, it's great to have everyone here from all around the world. I love doing these live streams. I think it's just awesome that we live in a day and age that we get to connect from all around the world, train together, share information, share experiences, learn from each other. I think that's super, super cool. All right, so I am about to sign off here. So if you guys want, go ahead and check that stuff out. Kali Center University, the instructor's training course. The registration is open for that course over at KaliCenter.com. Check out the Kali Center Community Facebook group. Just go ahead and request to join that, and we'll get you on in. Ask your questions, talk about your training experiences. Converse with us. Like I said, you get to communicate directly with me, with the rest of the staff, with other university members, other friends and fans of Kali Center. You get to try to find people that are in your area. Really, really awesome community. Navneet, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Great to meet you too, my friend. All right, so everyone take care. All right. Make sure that you are always training smart, train safe, have fun. That's the most important ingredient in our training, I believe, is having fun. All right, and I'll catch you guys next time. Chris, man, it was good. I'm glad I got to say hi to you. at least you caught me here. All right, awesome. All right, yes, the replay should be up in a few minutes here once I log off. All right, so I'm gonna go catch some dinner. And I'll catch you guys next time. I am trying to do these live streams every other Saturday. So let me grab my phone right now. And I'll try to do a better job at posting when, announcing these a couple days ahead of time so you guys can work that in your schedule. All right, so the next live stream I'm shooting for is the 16th. All right, so February 16th, Chicago time. All right, so you'll have to work that out if you're like in Australia, because Australia, I believe, is a day ahead of me. So you guys are in Friday right now. All right, so February 16th is the next one, and I'll definitely catch you guys next time. All right, have a great night, and thanks for training with me, guys.